Well, Friday night is hockey night here in Manchester. The Manchester Storm taking on the Sheffield Steelers. Challenge Cup action, of course. Remember, you can get in touch with us throughout the evening on Twitter at MCR_StormTV. I'm sure if you put Storm TV into the search, you'll be able to find us as well. Let us know where you're watching from, who you're supporting, who you're watching the game with, any shout-outs you want as well. I want to get you involved with us, I should say, with the Printed Stitch at Storm TV throughout the evening. So let us know. I'll give as many shout-outs to try and read out as many messages as possible as well. And of course, early on, I'll give you until around 5 minutes in. I'll give that leeway unless we see some early goals. So to get those predictions in as well, let us know which way you think this one's going this evening. As both teams put their starting five out. The top lines mentioned before, just to recap: Connolly, Davies, Velarand, I should say, O'Connor and David Phillips. For the Steelers, for the Storm, they're going Hope, Critchlow, Fawcett, Grewal and Negrin, their five as well. Cantor for the Steelers, Ginn for the Manchester Storm, the two starting netminders this evening. Tom Perring and Andrew Miller, the two referees. James Kavanagh and Danny Beresford on the line as well. So they're the four officials. It's Critchlow and Davies head to the face-off dot. And we're underway. Challenge Cup action this evening, and it's the Storm who will go forward first and look to get away an early chance. As a shot will come in, it's deflected in front of the net. And seconds into this contest, the Storm get the first real opportunity of the game to score. And Cantor getting some minutes this evening, called into action straight away. As the Steelers fans, who of course travelled here in numbers, make themselves heard as well. A really good turnout this evening for a Friday night game. Now it's the Steelers' turn to come down the right through Velarand. He'll look to the centre, but that's cut off, and the attempted clearance away is a great opportunity to get here, as there's kind of a bit of a bumping around, and of course, as ever when these two meet, there's a bit of pushing and shoving between, as the attempted clearance from Critchlow hits the official. Not too much anyone could have done about that. It's just one of the elements of the game. And then Ginn, again, called into action early on. He's been a real star during his time for the Manchester Storm. Gets down, makes that right pad save. Both netminders called into action inside this opening minute. A really good opportunity for both sides to find the net early on, but goaltending is key. And both have had to make big saves when required. But the Steelers there showing that offensive threat that they have, that they can quickly turn over the puck. Now it's the Storm who will come out of their own defensive zone. As Sullivan and Gagnon, the second defensive pairing for the Storm this evening. And the shot will come in. There's a chance for a deflection in front, and the puck will bobble around, and the Storm will get the first goal of this contest. 59 seconds in, a scramble in front of the net, and it's the home side who take the lead early on. It's the Manchester Storm 1, Sheffield Steelers 0. And the initial shot coming in from Sullivan there, the deflection just in front, and there's a real scramble in front of the net for the two Storm players to try and wedge that puck in. It looked like Thompson and Ulmer in front there. Not too sure who got the final touch on it. We'll await the officials, as the officials are actually in a little huddle here. Whether they're discussing whether it's a goal or not, or who actually got the touch on it, remains to be seen. As referee Andrew Miller's over at the timekeeping bench. Goal under review, so they're going to have a check at this one. Of course, very crowded in front of that net. Have a little look at this to see if this is a legitimate goal. Very hard to tell at first glance. Of course, they'll have those angles that can give them a little look at it a bit closer. And of course, you imagine they're checking for the goaltender interference here. If there's anyone in that crease, and whether that impeded Curlin making a fair save at it as well. There was a man in front, but whether or not he was in that blue paint remains to be seen. As you can see, in the penalty box, or in between the penalty boxes at the timekeeping bench. And here's the goal again. So the shot comes in from Sullivan. There's deflections there. Now there is a case actually here to say that this might be wiped out. It's where that Storm player is in the centre. I don't think the player on the right, Thompson, I think it was, who got the initial shot away. I don't think Cody Thompson's going to be the offending player here. We have a goal. See, the officials have had a look at it. They can't see anything wrong with it. And the goal stands. And it was Scott Simmons, the man in the middle there. Him and Cody Thompson combining. You imagine that Sullivan will get the assist on it as well. But 59 seconds into this Challenge Cup contest, the perfect start for any team, but particularly what the Storm would have wanted here at home. And the Storm hold that 1-0 advantage. The goal checked under review. The officials happy with it. And it's a good goal. 1-0 to the home side. It's the Steelers. We'll have discussion. Just I think the official down there at the bench just explaining their decision to them. Doesn't seem to be many complaints anyway from the Steelers bench. It's the Storm who will win the face-off. The Steelers looking to try and get an instant response as Dowd ducks the puck in. Bit of a bobble in that corner there. It's a bit of a problematic area of this ice, that corner with the doors for the Zamboni. But the Steelers will still have it as Armstrong weaves his way around in that corner, looking to lose Sullivan, the defensive man. Of course, got the assist on the first goal. Armstrong's done well, still in possession, waiting for that right pass. Now he will dump it behind. Steelers doing really well cycling the puck here. Dowd will go towards centre. And a real good opportunity, I should say. A really well worked chance there for the Steelers. And it's not over yet. They will get a chance to get a shot away. Goes for the backhand. And again, more fantastic work from the defenseman. And again, the danger isn't cleared. The Steelers will have a chance. And again, another shot just goes wide. But this Steelers pressure really putting the Storm in a situation. The Steelers will cycle. The shot will come in. That's not troubling the netminder. But there'll be no offside call. But the Steelers will use the opportunity to change. But Batar, I think it was there with both opportunities really, particularly that second one. Two good opportunities to get on the score sheet and pretty much level this game straight away. And as responses to going behind go, you've got to imagine that that's a pretty good one. They've done a lot of the right things in their quest to getting that goal. As Barmer under a big hit, and again there's a real good opportunity to get the shot away. As the puck is chopped over the boards. There's some shouts for a delay of game penalty there. I don't think the officials too interested in it. But again, more good Steelers pressure. And some good opportunities there. But on that second phase, just not the clean shot that they would have wanted. And it's now the Storm who can come forward as a match of the day skills there from the Steelers defenseman. But the Storm will still get the puck into the zone as they look to set up an attack. And the one thing that stands out of the Steelers side is there a lot of pressure. They look to put the Storm under pressure when they do have possession. But it's the home side now who'll look to their blue line. Barmer, nothing on, will kind of throw it towards the net. Now the shot will come in and it's deflected wide. Another shot in. I don't think that took a deflection, but that's high, wide, and it won't trouble the netminder. And the Storm only carrying 5 defensemen this evening. So their defensive pairings are Shea Grewal, Negrin, Gagnon, Sullivan, and then Barmer as that 5th defenseman. In that case, he had Negrin out with him. But you imagine that will be that cycle of those 4 other D-man kind of making up that third D partnership. And it's the Storm who will win the face-off. They'll look to go down their right. And they'll throw the puck in, and there's a good chance to get a shot away. The shot will come in, and the Storm will double their lead. With less than 4 minutes on the clock, the Manchester Storm have gone 2-0 up against the Sheffield Steelers. And it looks like Grewal who got the slap shot away, but as you can see here, from the face-off, they're patient with it, they're looking for the right pass. Deflection comes in, the follow-up, a great chance to get that shot through traffic, and it looks like the traffic played its part in the goal. As Cantor, not sure how much of that one he could have seen, but for the Storm, they will absolutely take it. That is 2-0, and their perfect start has just got even better. And it's the Storm have another opportunity. They'll look to the blue line, but the Steelers alert to it. And Eberle, who made that initial interception, wins the Steelers a penalty. It looks like Gagnon's been called for interference. He looks a bit bemused by the call, but Eberle looked to get around him. And the officials have adjudged Gagnon a 2-minute penalty for interference. So the Steelers now, good response to going behind in that first instance, getting the shots away, having attacks as well, and now they've got a real good opportunity on the man advantage. The first power play of this evening comes with just under 4 minutes of the game played. And of course they'll be patient, they'll go all the way to the blue line. There's an option out to his left, and that's Davies who he finds. But the attempted pass doesn't quite hit its target. And all in all, be happy for the Steelers to win possession back in front of their own goal to start another attack. A few shouts there from the away fans and the away bench, but the official's not interested in another call. As a pass will come to the blue line, back out to Davies on the left. He'll look to throw it across the front, looking for that deflection. It's not quite there. They'll try again though. The shot will come in. That looks like it hit the skate of Barmer and deflected wide out of trouble, but the pressure's still here. There's options at the back post if they can find him. It's deflecting kind of up and everywhere. But it's the Storm who can look to break forward now, but all in again. Happy just to play down the clock. They're in a pretty good position with 1 minute remaining on the penalty. The Steelers will get that second power play line out. And again, good stick work from the Storm defence. It's Barmer, or I should say, the goal scorer, Grewal, actually there with his stick in the way. The Steelers fans just to my right look to get their team back into the contest. The shot will come in from a tight angle, but Ginn has that covered. Can't quite find that little gap that always seems to appear above the goalie's shoulder, but it's into his body. And that's a pretty comfortable save for Ginn with 26 seconds remaining on the power play. It's been an okay power play for the Steelers so far. They've cycled the puck well, looking for those shooting lanes. There's just been a few deflections, which means clean shots haven't come off, but there's a chance here, and again, another deflection high and up. And that was a real tough one for the defenseman to follow. But credit the Steelers there for their alertness in getting back on that puck. But Ginn gets down and makes a save. And there's 10 seconds remaining of this penalty. But the Storm will finish the penalty on the attack. And the penalty is killed. So the first power play of the evening results to nothing, but there's a chance to get a shot away here, and Ginn gets down low to his left to deny Dowd with that glove, but Ginn been called into action, particularly since the Storm went 2-0 up. A decent shot here, but as you can see, Ginn gets his glove in the way. Face-off will be to the left of Ginn in that Storm net, and it's the Steelers again who come out on top. they'll throw the puck in, and the Steelers there, if you watch, two of the pretty much those three forwards crowding together to try and create a bit of a blockage in front of the net, but it seems to hit everyone in front and deflects away. So we will have an icing call with around 6.5 minutes played of this first period. The Storm will obviously be the happier of the two teams. The first goal under review, checked, they were happy with that. No doubts about the second as well. A powerful slap shot from Greywall on the Storm left. Again, the Steelers come out on top on the face-off dot, but Sullivan will keep it in. He'll dump it behind. There's a bit of a battle there. It's all in, surrounded by two Steelers players, but the puck works its way back to all in. Only briefly though, as Paskaric can't quite keep it under control. And now the Steelers will break forward. And now it's Eberle, under pressure from Gagnon. There's a chance to get a shot away, and a fantastic right pad save from Matt Ginn. Remarkable save when called into action. That was a real good opportunity for the Steelers to halve this deficit, but the goaltender has kept or maintained the Storm's 2-goal lead, and he's made a couple of big saves already this evening. Exactly what his team would have wanted, particularly looking to protect this lead. But the Steelers can break forward now. Potential 4-on-3 opportunity for now. O'Connor will try and look to get the shot away, and it's deflected in front by Connolly, I think it was. Got there before Davies, but he taps it wide. And here come the Steelers again, down their right. Chance to cut inside. But again, Ginn flashes his pad on it, and that does enough to deflect that puck away from the initial danger. But a great chance to get a shot away here on the blue line. The puck will be dumped in. And the Steelers looking a real threat at the moment, but for the Storm, they've managed to just survive this pressure, and now it might get better if they can find their way into the net. And it does! Almost out of nothing, after spells of Steelers pressure, the Storm have gone under the other end and made it 3-0 to the home side. As we said, this is the last few minutes, particularly since that power play. It's been pretty much all Steelers in terms of the goal mouth action. Ginn coming up big, making those saves, and with their first real opportunity in a few minutes, the Storm have made it 3-0. And that's real clever thinking from Kyle Hope there. Fawcett doesn't quite get a clean touch on the puck, but it falls to Hope. And he elects to use his backhand and almost loop it up and into the gap that appeared above the left shoulder of Cantor. But I don't think too many people in this arena would have seen that goal coming at the time that it did, but the majority here will definitely take it, because the Manchester Storm now hold a commanding 3-0 lead with less than 10 minutes of the game played. There's a potential opportunity to try and get it better here, but the Steelers alert as ever to the danger. In truth, there's not too much more that the Steelers could have done apart from hit the net. And on another night, one of those chances probably finds its way in. But as important as those 3 goals have been for the home side, Matt Ginn coming up big with those saves. As things just slow down a little, the Steelers look to start yet another attack. They'll dump it in behind, looking for that chase. We're going to win 5-3, chant the Steelers away fans. Not content with getting the 4th. They want that insurance goal as well. The shot will come in from Gagnon. Looked like it hit Steelers defenseman on the way through. Now here come the Steelers again, 3-on-3. Shot will come in, and that's hit the stick of, I think it was Barmer. Deflects up and behind and hits that side netting. But again, the Steelers come forward. So it's Dowd and Barmer having a few pushes down in that corner. A real physical game at the moment. Barmer complaining to the official, and Ginn as well, suggesting that there was an elbow in there. I'm not too sure if the officials will agree. It's pretty much right in front of us, and one of those that could go either way. But again, another chance for the Steelers to try and hit that net. But that shot, probably looking for a deflection, doesn't get the deflection that it needs. And the Steelers win the face-off, but the attempted pass back to the blue line just goes in between the two defensemen. And the Steelers will have to start in their own zone as they look to go down to their left. Is Eberle under pressure from Sullivan. He's got Milan behind the net. And Critchlow's there kind of keeping an eye on him. Milan furiously wants the puck. Found himself in a pretty good shooting angle there, but the pass would have had to been 100% accurate to find the target. And a characteristic of the Steelers team is that they do look very dangerous when they have the puck in the attacking zone. But as of yet, not been able to hit the net. And the battle in front of the benches leads to the attempted dump of the puck, not reaching the intended target, and the Storm will be happy just to knock that down the ice and give it a little chase, but it results in a turnover. And 3-on-3 now. There's a man in the centre, but that pass isn't going to find its target, particularly under the pressure of the Storm defence. And it's a real battle at the moment for opportunities. Davies will have one here, and his wrist shot goes high up and over the left glove of the Storm netminder. Another chance for a shot. This time that's straight into the glove from Valoran that took the wrist shot. But again, more Steelers pressure, and again Ginn making those saves. The Steelers look like they've won the initial face-off, but it's the Storm who will come out with it as they look to try and use that speed to start yet another attack. We've seen plenty of them in this game so far, and that's resulted in 3 goals. And for the home crowd, they'll be delighted that it's 3 goals for the home team, as we will have an icing call. Gives us time to get to the Twitter. Few predictions in already. Agent Orange Twitter name, 4-1 Storm. Well, you're on the right tracks at the moment, as Storm lead 3-0. Liam McNulty says, Mrs. reckons 6-2 Steelers, I reckon 5-3 Steelers. So one of those predictions still alive at the moment. As we will have that face-off again with the Storm winger a little too eager to try and win that puck. James Halliwell gets in touch saying James and Eberle watching in Halifax. Let's go Steelers, going to get a shout out to the YYP group. Sure they'll be hoping for a Steelers goal soon and a way back into this contest. It's the Storm come out on top on the face-off dot this time as Gagnon looks to clear the zone. Does, but it's straight to a Steelers stick. And Phillips will go back to the defenseman. There's options in the middle. They'll look to hit Eberle, who dumps it in for Phillips to give chase, and Ginn will look to make that clearance. But again, it's Eberle who's been a real presence so far on that attack. There's a shot will come in. It seemed to hit the leg of Eberle, but Phillips will now win it, and Eberle's there in the front if he can find him. But that's real good reading of the play from Gagnon, who waited for it to come. And we'll have the offside call, but real good reading of the game there from Gagnon. Knew that pass was on, waited for the pass to come across, and then cut it out just before they could get the shot away. It's a real good reading of the play, but again, more threat from the visitors. So even though it's 3-0 on the scoreline, this game is far from over as we have 7:13 remaining in the first period. One power play so far, resulting in a couple of shots but no goal. The Storm will look to come forward. A lot of the recent play has been in front of their own net as the attack there stopped by the offside call, one that looked correct on first viewing. But a lot of this action has been down here to the left of us here on Print It, Stitch It, Storm TV. As expected given the scoreline at the moment, the Storm can look to go forward as the attempted pass looked like it took a bit of a deflection up, but I think it was a pass gone wayward, which will mean we will have the icing call and the face-off will come all the way down to the other end of the ice. So Carl Hope's goal that made it 3-0 to the Storm, his first goal of the Challenge Cup campaign, I should say, this season. Got 1.1 assist on his tally, but no goal. That's obviously changed now as Dowd looks to throw the puck towards the net. It's bobbling around the skates of the Storm defenseman. It hits Barmer's skate, Gins alert and covers it, so we'll have the face-off to the right. So I'm sure the Steelers will be targeting at the very least a goal just before the first period break. And at the moment, they look like they're roughly on the right tracks to doing it. But they've got to find a way to beat that Storm netminder who's come into this game, made a couple of big saves early on as well. But there's a real good chance there with the man unmarked in front. Opportunity still on. The attempted shot slash thrown it towards net in the hope of a deflection. Only results in the puck being deflected behind. As the attempted pass to Dowd is cut out by Gagnon, but that's bounced the way they would have wanted it. Although the pass to Armstrong isn't. And more pressure from those Steelers forwards means that they win back the puck down in that corner. And here's Armstrong. There's a pass on if he can find it. That deflects up, so no shot will go just yet. Manages to keep it in the zone. There's passing opportunities on if he looks behind, which he does. Good chance to come forward here. No one's closing him down. But at that point, Critchlow decides to step across, and he gets his body in the way. And the Storm will dump it in, which gives both forward lines the opportunity to change with 5:40 remaining in the first period. Of course, the Storm holding a 3-0 lead, 2 early goals combined with that Carl Hope backhand, which was against the run of play at that point. But of course, they'll take the goals however they come. Now there's an opportunity to come forward. They'll look down the right, look to pass it back across. And the initial save is made as there's a bit of a scramble in front of the net. The Storm will maintain possession. Sullivan will throw it in. It's deflected. It seems to have hit the right leg of a Steelers defenseman and bobbled into the net. And we were speaking about the opportunities that the Steelers could have created, but it seems that every time the Storm are getting in front of goal, they're adding to their tally. And Sullivan, key part of 2 goals so far this evening, he threw that towards the net. It hit the leg of the Steelers defenseman and bobbles into the net just before that. Cantor making a real good save down to his right to stop the goal scoring opportunity. But in terms of the balance of play, the Steelers probably edging it in this first period, but all importantly, on that scoreline, it's the Storm who now hold a 4-0 advantage. As that dump into the zone hits the official, Olin will look to dump it back across as they look to add to their tally. As you can probably imagine, the majority of this building really happy at the moment, and it could get a bit better as the pass into the front of the net is deflected up and over. But the Storm, this is a start a better start, I should say, than they really could have hoped for. 4-0 up. The face-off down to the left of the Steelers net results in a bit of a scramble up against the boards. And it's the Steelers who will come out on top with it as they look to try and find at least one to start a comeback if it is going to happen. And the puck bobbles there, and it bobbles a bit too much, which means that shot can't get away, and All-In will carry it forward for the Storm. The attempted pass back to him is cut off, and the Steelers can come forward. There's a real chance to get a shot away here, and it goes under the pads of Ginn, and Davies gets one back for the Steelers with 4:04 remaining in the period. That attacking pressure has finally paid off as he seems to come on from the line change completely unmarked. That gives him the opportunity to get that shot away. Again tries to get down, but he's not down quick enough, and Davies, the first line centre, pulling the one goal back. So with 4 minutes remaining in the first, it's the Manchester Storm 4, Sheffield Steelers 1, as the offside call is ruled out. The Steelers will be trying to finish this period with another, and then they're in a real position to try and fight back into this game. But of course the Storm, they look a threat themselves as the puck is chucked towards net from Gagnon. Saved by the glove of Cantor, which led to, as you can probably tell, a few cheers from the Steelers fans as well. And the shot will come in again from Sullivan, who's just been so key in attack for the Storm so far this evening. 10 shots on goal for the Storm, 13 for the Steelers. And on the scoreline, it is 4-1 to the home side. The Storm will look to pass it around behind the net, but that's loose, and it allows the Steelers to try and create an opportunity as the offside call denies them there. But the shots, or the shot stats, really backing up kind of the game that we've seen up to this point. And the face-off in front of the Storm bench, but it's the Steelers who will come out on top. They look to try and find a way through there, but the body of Bulmer stops any shot getting away. So the two defensive partners just pass to one another. The dump in is flicked on by Dowd, which allows the Steelers to come in and make that chase, win back possession, and Armstrong now may go for himself. There's a penalty on the play, which means that the Steelers will have another power play as Armstrong got that shot away, looked to get around his man, but Hope doing a little more than you're allowed to. And the officials straight away with the tripping call there. So the Steelers, their second power play of the evening. What a time to get it as well. 2:49 remaining in the first period. You imagine a goal in this next 2 minutes will really change the complexion of the game. And the initial face-off is cleared out of the zone, and O'Connor recovers, but the Steelers skaters are going to have to clear the zone. So O'Connor plays it back. The dump behind, the attempt to play the puck is batted out the air from Ginn under pressure from Dowd. And it's Dowd again. He'll go around the back looking for O'Connor on that blue line. Sandstrom to Armstrong, back to the man behind the net, looking for those passes in front. Armstrong at the back post, which Gagnon's got to be aware of. If that pass got through, there was an opportunity to tip it in, but for the meantime, they've got an opportunity to get the shot away with Dowd. He'll go back across the zone, looking to go to that back post. Dowd will get it in, and the Steelers have another two quick-fire goals, this second one on the power play, and the Storm's 4-0 advantage is halved. It looks like Armstrong got that tip on net just in front. As we see here, they're playing it around the zone, and yeah, it is Armstrong who gets the tap in front, obviously with a man advantage. Always an opportunity for a man to be free, and they've utilised him there. And we said, you know, potentially changes the complexity of the game. And it seems to have certainly done that, because suddenly the Storm's commanding lead doesn't look so commanding anymore. And the power play goal makes it 4-2 as the attempted dump into the zone is deflected up and over, so we'll have a face-off just in front of the Steelers bench. But a really good time for the Steelers to score, and they'll be really happy with that. And given the balance of play so far, they'll feel that they deserve at least one, but they've got 2 on the tally, and now they're in a real good position to try and fight back and get something from this game. Well, be dumped in behind. There's pressure there on Barmer, but he'll find the defensive partner, who this time is Negrin. He kind of looks like he's lost it under pressure. And it is the Steelers who initially looked like they were coming out with the puck, but there's more scrambles in front of the benches, and the Storm will look just to slow things down a bit and try and find those right passes. As Negrin goes to the centre, the attempted dump into the zone, or the attempted pass I should say, from Ulmer doesn't find its intended target, and there's a real chance here for the Steelers to get yet another. The shot will come in, and it's hit the edge of the post. Valorand, the right winger, getting the shot away. The danger's not over though, and from one end we could see an opportunity out the other, and we will have a penalty against the Sheffield Steelers here, as from one-on-one opportunity at one end we nearly got another. But it looks like Batawa, who's going to sit 2 minutes for hooking, has a few complaints with the officials, but if we're being honest, I think he knew what he was doing, trying to slow down the player getting around him. And of course, if he did get around him, there was that one-on-one opportunity as well, so not necessarily a bad penalty to take. And it's the Storm who'll win the face-off, but can't control it, and they'll have to clear the zone. And it could have gone even better there for the Steelers. Again, more pressure from those forwards. Obviously, you look to their goals, assists, points, but their ability on the forecheck to put the Storm under pressure when they have the puck is a real positive. But for the meantime, it's the Storm who, again, that attempted pass to the defensive partner bobbles out of the zone, which means they have to clear and start that attack yet again. And they'll have to start it all the way from behind their own net. So we have 10 seconds remaining in the game, of course. When we come back in the second period, there'll be around 1 minute and 10 of Storm power play. But they probably won't have an opportunity to get a shot away, which they won't. And it will finish the period here at the Storm shelter. A really entertaining end-to-end period at times as well. The Manchester Storm, 2 early goals combined with that backhand from Hope. And of course Sullivan chucking it in the puck as well, taking a deflection on the way through. Gave them a 4-0 lead, but the Steelers looked to fret throughout, managed to get a goal, and shortly after on the power play they managed to get another one when Armstrong tipped it in to the net just in front, as Ryan Finnerty shakes his head at the officials. Looks like he's asking a couple of questions there about one of the calls. I'm sure we'll find out what that was after the game. But those 2 goals really changed the shape of the game now with 40 minutes to go. For the meantime though, it gives you a chance to put your feet up, get another drink, relax. It's Friday night, enjoy it. Hockey night here in Manchester, where the Storm hold a 4-2 advantage over the Steelers. And we'll be back with you in around 10-15 minutes time. Well, welcome back to the Storm shelter here. We're ready for second period action. The Manchester Storm holding a 4-2 lead over the Sheffield Steelers here in EIHL Challenge Cup action. Bit of a recap, the Storm raced into a 2-0 lead early on. Then against the run of play, Carl Hope, lovely backhand, one to keep an eye out for on the highlights. Over Cantor, the Steelers goalie, and then a deflected effort from Sullivan finds its way into the net, but the Steelers looked to fret throughout that first period. They managed to get that goal, and shortly afterwards on the power play they managed to halve that deficit, so a completely different game at the moment. But the Storm will still be happy. 4 goals scored in that first period, and if the goal scoring carries on at the rate it is, we're in for a real entertaining next 40 minutes, maybe even longer depending on how this one goes. But 6 goals in that first period will absolutely take that here on this Friday night. As both sides going to be starting this period, of course, with the specialty teams. 1 minute 13 remaining on that Manchester Storm penalty, which of course came at the end of the first period. Didn't really have any opportunities to try and find the net, so we'll hopefully be looking to try and get a couple of shots away anyway, as they'll start from in front of their own net. Fresh sheet of ice, but that means that when that pass is loose we will go all the way down for what could have been an icing call, but the officials decide against it. And the Storm will now come forward down the right. They dump it behind. It's deflected high and up, and it's bobbled around, and there's a chance for Ulmer to get the shot away. A bit of pressure on that netminder, which means that he goes onto his back, and there will be a whistle. Referee Miller didn't seem to be able to see that puck, or as opposed to calling any penalties, as Jonathan Phillips and Ben O'Connor, experienced members of this Steelers side, just have words with the officials about the decision. A few half shouts there for the penalty on the goaltender, but the official's not interested. We'll have a face-off to the left of Cantor, who was expected to have been called into action early on, given the man advantage for the home side. And the Storm will look for that pass now. They'll go back to that blue line. Here's Critchlow. He'll go across, and they'll play it down their right, looking to cycle that puck as they wait for that shooting lane to come. The puck will be thrown in, and Cantor gets down to make the save. The Steelers fans to my right here at the Storm shelter cheering that save. And 26 seconds remaining on the power play. A power play that the Storm will be happier with their efforts in the second period part of it as opposed to their first, but the Steelers now with a chance to get that puck away. And Milan will dump it all the way down actually for Armstrong to give chase to, but he won't get there first, and the Storm will look to try and catch the Steelers unorganised, but they quickly get back into that formation as the penalty comes to an end. 5 seconds remaining, so the Steelers will get their man back before the Storm get into the zone, and we're back to 5 on 5. Steelers 1 for 2 on the power play this evening, the Storm at 0 for 1. And the Steelers managed to get some fresh legs out as well. There's Valorant who dumps it in behind, but Gins there plays the puck down to the left as well as 2 Steelers collide, both going for that puck. And the pass again a bit loose and on that fresh sheet of ice. Very hard to recover if you don't quite get it first time. Now here's Phillips. He'll go down the left. There's an option there, but he'll take it in himself. They'll hold it up as they wait for that pass, and there are passes on. And the best course of action there was to throw it towards the net for that man in front, but he can only deflect it up above the crossbar and out of play, so we will have that face-off. Not quite sure who it touched last, but the face-off will be inside the Storm defensive zone. where the Steelers will want it at this moment in time as they make a quick switch in terms of the setup for who's where, but it's the Storm coming out on top. And they'll look to go down the centre. It's taken a touch on the Steelers, or the Storm player I should say, but he's inside his own half. And despite the best efforts of Hughesman, Batar gets there first, and we will have an icing call, so the Steelers will opt to take that face off. To the right of Ginn. Gives them options to get that shot away as well. A couple of left-handed players there as well. And that will see the shot come in, and it hits the pad of Ginn on the way through, but a real strong position, that face-off dot for the Steelers at the moment, particularly when you've got players like that who can release a shot straight away, and the pass is wayward, the shot will come in, completely misses everyone, it completely misses the net as well, but again another loose pass, the chance to come in, the backhanded effort seems to hit people on the way through, and the official signalling that it did get that touch, so we'll have the face-off inside the Storm zone again, but since the power play, the Steelers really enjoying the better of the play, as they of course look to cut that 2-goal deficit even further. Came from 4-0 down, pulled it back to 4-2. They've won the face-off here. The shot will come in, it's thrown in, saved by the blocker, and there's still a chance to come in, but they can't get a touch on it, and now the Storm will come forward up the other end. Good defensive work there from the Steelers defenseman, doing enough to get his body in the way. And now it'll start an attack with Dowd. Dowd will hold it as he waits for the options to come across, elects to chuck it across the zone. The shot will come in, but Ginn's got his pad covered on the low side there as we have a whistle. So on the replay what the call is here, why they've stopped the play. Ginn makes the save, and whistle is blown. We'll have a face off to the left of Ginn anyway. The Storm now looking to try and win possession back as the Steelers go behind the net. They'll chuck it in towards goal. Still a chance to get a shot away in. The shot will come up. Ginn gets his left pad up. The danger isn't cleared. The shot will come in again. This time Ginn gets his pad down. It's loose. The officials can't see it, whether Ginn has covered it or not. It looks like he has. There's an official right there, referee Miller, right behind the play. He elects to call it dead, but Ginn getting that pad up high, then down low. And then, in a scramble in front of net, he and 4 Storm players crowd the puck looking to cover it. Of course, the Steelers trying to knock that puck goalwards, but there's a chance to get the shot away. It'll come up high, and it's hit a player in white on the way through. And as the Storm can't quite clear that zone, the Steelers will have possession again once behind the net. Chance for the shot to come in here. Doesn't seem to get clean connection on it, but there's another chance. Rather than go for the shot, they'll look to try and find that man at the back post that wasn't there. The shot will come in now, but it's blocked by the Storm player, and if that pass found its way through, then there's a real one-on-one opportunity there. So key that they made the interception. It looked like Shudra who did as well, and now it's Phillips. He'll go to O'Connor, and it takes that deflection off as a couple of the Steelers fans voicing their displeasure at the loose pass. I think that's more off the boards and not too much they could have done about it as the whistle goes as that puck seemingly bobbled up and out of play with just over 4 minutes played in this second period. We'll have a face-off in front of that Steelers bench. So no goals so far. We had 2 pretty much by this point in the first period, but none as of yet. Shudra looks to dump it in behind. There's a stick there, and it looks like Paskaric, who did enough to block it. I think his stick's broken. He'll go to the bench to try and get a new one, and that leads the one-on-one opportunity, and the shot is to the left of Ginn, but it's also to the left of his post. There'll be no icing call as well, but a real opportunity there again for the Steelers. It looked like Valorant who had it. one-on-one opportunity as the puck's loose here, and there's a real chance to get it away, and we will have a penalty on the play. But loose play initially from Cantor in the Steelers' net. He then recovers with that strong pad save. As Batawa will exchange words just in front of that net, but the Steelers will sit their second penalty of the evening, and I'm not sure they'll have too many complaints about that one. Looking, of course, to stop the shot getting away off what was a real sloppy bit of play at the back. Nearly allowed the Storm their 5th goal of the night, but it has given them a power play. And that's aggressive play to try and deny Allin initially, but Allin will have the puck back now. Looking for the pass, he'll go to the centre. And eventually, after a couple of tries, Trasinski manages to get that puck all the way down the ice. And the Storm will have to start from behind their own net as they look to break forward on the second power play of the opportunity of the night, I should say. Draw a blank on the first one, but this could be worse as Eberle here is through. Opportunity to go one-on-one. No clean pass on, so they elect to try and chuck that puck up and over for Eberle to chase, but Ginn gets out and catches it in his glove. But if you see here, the clean pass wasn't quite on because of the two players in between, so they try and loop it up and over for Eberle to chase onto, but the Storm netminder is alert to it. But for the meantime, the Steelers will be happy that the puck is down the other end of the ice as they look to play down a bit more of the clock on their penalty, and the bounce might fall in their favour here, but again Ginn has to come out for the Storm to be alert and almost play as that 6th skater to stop another one-on-one opportunity there. I think it was Armstrong this time, that player, providing the pressure. And now the Storm look to get their first real shot of this power play. But again, the Steelers there, aggressive play. As there's a stoppage in play, and the official there quite vocal to one of the players. Not quite sure what they're checking. I think there's an issue potentially with the clock here. They're just trying to make sure it's showing the correct penalty time remaining, which is 50 seconds, which I didn't time when the penalty actually occurred, but it does feel roughly about right. The officials seem happy. There doesn't seem to be any changes, but the officials there, I don't know if you caught that just before, was very vocal in his instructions to either one of the players or one of the benches. As both officials now speaking to both benches probably were clarifying what's going on. But the time stands at 50 seconds on the power play. The power play that the Steelers, in terms of their penalty killing, will be satisfied with. They've not given up any shots to the Storm at the moment. The discussions will carry on with the Steelers bench. But now we'll have the face-off. And the face-off again is won by the Storm, who pretty good in the face-off dot during this power play so far, but not the shots that they need if they are to extend their lead. They dump it back to the blue line. Passes on. Sugar looking to provide the pressure. So say Kuka looking to provide the pressure there. It's still in the zone though. There's an opportunity. Not only for them to clear, it's now a 2-on-1. Eberle, he'll go to shoot himself, and Ginn there with his glove once again making another good save to keep the Steelers out. But that was a real dangerous moment, short-handed as well. Eberle breaking forward, he had a man in support. With a Storm defenseman looking to cover that passing lane. Looked like Negrin in there cutting across. Elects to take the shot himself. Not too many complaints, I think, by that decision. But Ginn gets his glove in the way and makes a great save to deny the Steelers. But the shot will now come in. It's Kuka, the recent addition, looks to get it away. The puck's dumped behind now, as should see this penalty coming to an end now. The Steelers will get their man back, but for the meantime, the Storm will still have it with all in. Chance to get the shot away. The puck's loose initially, but Cantor manages to keep hold of it, get the whistle, and the Steelers back to full strength. So 2 penalty kills so far, 2 penalty kills well executed as well. They gave the Storm pretty much nothing during that last 2 minutes. But the Storm will have the face-off to the left in their offensive zone, but the Steelers will come out on top as they play it down to centre. It's bobbling around. Valorant gives chase, can't keep it under control though, and O'Connor will use his body there to deny the Storm player getting around him, more than entitled to do so. But there's a chance here to get a shot away, but again, that's really good work from Kuka, the defensive player for the Steelers, and could go one better here to get the goal. That's deflected wide though, but impressive performance so far from the defenseman, who Steelers fans are just getting used to seeing him in white and orange. The shot will come in, but that's a pretty easy save for the Storm netminder. And the Steelers looking to keep the puck in the zone, which they do. Opportunity for the shot. The wrist shot will come in through traffic. Ginzer, and that looks a pretty straightforward tripping call. No hesitations about that one. The stick comes down, takes the blade of the opposition player, and it looks like Connolly who will sit this time, and the Storm will be hoping for a much better power play this time around. But yeah, as you saw, not too many complaints about that one. Pretty straightforward tripping call for the officials to make, and the speed in which the arm went up as well suggested that they had no doubt in the penalty. The puck's trapped under the skate of the linesman, and it falls to Eberle, who will throw that puck. I think it would have gone just a bit above the crossbar, but a good clear nonetheless, and it means the Storm will have to start all the way back down the other end of the ice. They'll go to their right. There's options in the centre. He'll elect to try and go behind the net. Puskaric is there, trying to find Orlin, but it takes a deflection off the back of the goal. It falls back to Puskaric. Puskaric to the blue line, back to Puskaric. 2 left-handers. The shot will come in from Puskaric, I think, looking to try and find that deflection there, but he keeps it in. And good stick work there from the Steelers, and it's even better. They could get the shot away. O'Connor will go for it. It's deflected up and about, and it falls back to the Steelers, but that's really good work at both ends of the ice from Ben O'Connor for the Steelers. But now here come the Storm. There's options available, which he'll look to find one behind the net, but the pass is very loose, and that'll be a high stick call there, so we'll have a whistle. But really good work there at both ends of the ice from the Steelers, number 81. Initially reading the danger, cutting it out, and then of course nearly getting a goal at the other end as well. But again, with 53 seconds on it, the Storm power play has been a little bit better, but again not getting those clear shooting opportunities away to really test Cantor in the Steelers net. The shot will come in, but the puck just won't lie right. It's very weak, and it gives the Storm the opportunity to break forward down the left in front of the benches. They'll look to dump it behind, but again it's Kuka who's the first man there. They keep it in though on the deflection. There's an option to his left which he'll look for, but the shooting lane's completely blocked for Hughesman, so he'll go back, drop it back to Hughesman. The shot will come in, and the save is made, but the danger's still there for now. Although, once again, Batawa doing his role to clear the initial danger. As the puck is carried in, and there's opportunities here, but the pass just doesn't find that stick blade as the penalty comes to an end. And the Storm power play pretty positive at the end. But again, no goal on it. 0 for 3 now. Here's Negrin, he'll go back, the shot will come in, looking for a deflection, on the effort from Gagnon, and now he's got to do that defensive work to get back and look to cut out that opportunity as there's a shooting lane to come in. And the opportunity's there, which will lead to a few pushes, a few shoves behind the net. But the Steelers very quick when they break forward. A couple of times tonight they've had those one-on-one opportunities. So 9:46 remaining in the second. Well, there's a timeout called by Manchester. So Ryan Finnerty wanting to get his team together. Despite the fact they're 4-2 up. Seems to be dishing out the instructions there, particularly on the man advantage. But of course, creating those shooting opportunities. And of course trying to add to the advantage that they've had. Still no score. First period full of goals. Second period not so much. No goals in this one. As Ginn and DeLuca, the Manchester goalie and the Sheffield forward, share a friendly word, it looked like, from a distance on the way back to the net. And the face-off will be to the right of that Storm goal. But the official's not happy with the face-off. As you see there, that means we'll then go outside the zone for this one. Despite the protests of Sandstrom, it is out there currently. So the Storm will come forward, they'll dump it on net. But it's not really troubling Cantor. And again, a quick pass forward through the zones. Although this one will be stopped by offside. But again, we're seeing that from the Steelers, that ability to get from their own defensive zone to the opposition blue line very quickly. And as of yet, it's not caused Manchester too many problems, although it is a threat that they will be aware of and will be watching. It's the face-off won by the Storm. Options down that right. They'll look to try and find one. The attempted pass to Thompson doesn't hit its intended target. The puck bobbles up and out as Ginn looked to block that with the blade of his stick, and it seemed to bobble up, but his glove was there behind his insurance and it fell into his glove. But that puck dumped forward, jumping up and down, but Ginn has enough body behind it to stop it. As again, see those few pushes, few words exchanged. And Ben O'Connor also exchanging words with a referee at centre ice as well. And this time it looks like Armstrong and Grewal just saying hello to each other, getting to know each other, I'm sure. Steelers and Storm, of course, still got to play each other throughout the course of this season. We're only early days, of course, mid-October. And here come the Storm now. There's an opportunity. The pace is really good. The shot will come away, and that's a fantastic goal from Thompson to regain that 3-goal lead from the Manchester Storm. He uses his pace, he finds the gap between the two defensemen, and that wrist shot is high to the right above the blocker of Cantor. And that's a really well-worked goal, a real good bit of individual skill from Thompson to not only use his pace to get forward, but to get that wrist shot in that gap, and that's a fantastic goal to regain that 3-goal lead for the Storm. And just as we were saying there was no scoring in this period, it's quieting down. And that timeout called by Ryan Finnerty seems to be a good move. But the Steelers will look to try and get that instant response, and the wrist shot from Davies is wide of the post. It's in front of net. But the Steelers again looking for that response. They've looked a threat throughout, of course, as we've said many times, but particularly after conceding, they're looking to try and get a response almost immediately as the stick's high there. And there will be a call against the Storm, as the stick did look high. The player went straight down and will have a penalty. Looks like could be Davies slowly skating back to the bench, but the stick was high there. I'm sure it wasn't intentional, but it's still going to be a penalty. And just as I was saying, the Storm, or the Steelers should say, looking for that instant response. Well, they've got a great opportunity now on the man advantage. Already one power play goal this evening, which is of course their second. Armstrong unmarked in front of the netminder. They'll be looking for a repeat result as Armstrong goes to the face-off dot. O'Connor, the left-handed option on the right side of the blue line, so if the puck comes to him, which it does, could have had the shot but doesn't sit right. But the Steelers now behind the net, chance to set up as O'Connor's on the blue line. It's back to him. The Steelers fans look to encourage their team on to once again reduce this game to a 2-goal lead. But for the meantime, they're happy just to be patient. They've still got a majority of this power play to go as they wait to find that right shooting lane. As here's O'Connor. He's tempted, he chucks it in, it's through bodies. But the home crowd will be relieved that it hit the bodies and then deflected wide, and that clearance all the way down the ice gives the Storm the opportunity to change all 4 skaters at the moment. It's Allin and Thompson, the penalty killers for the Storm, and they win back the puck immediately and manage to get it to the other side of the neutral zone. But again, here's Armstrong, been a real presence on this power play so far. They'll go back to the blue line. Again, happy to be patient as we enter the final minute of this power play. They'll go to their left. Sullivan looks to apply the pressure, but it could form a gap there, as we will have another penalty against the Storm. So just as we were saying, that they've got a real good opportunity there as well, hooking the call. And the Steelers will get 38 seconds of 5-on-3 power play. And again, from a distance at first glance, that looked like a fairly easy call for the officials to make, with a stick getting caught in the opposition player, despite the protests of Sullivan, who we said, of course, stepped up, looked to make that pressure on the player, on the puck carrier, but all it did was create that space behind him. And in his efforts to try and stop that shot getting away, the officials deem that he's overstepped the mark. And there will be a 5-on-3 power play as one of the Steelers loses their stick, but they still have the puck. As one of the players falls over, always gets a good reaction from the opposition crowd, but there's a chance for the shot to come in. It's high, it's over, it's bobbling, and they would have done very well there. Fans had it at the back post, but it would have done very well to get the shot away as it comes in. It's through crowd. We pretty much followed that all the way through, but Ginn gets his glove up. That pass is far too high for him to make an easy catch. But the chance will come in. It's bobbling in front. Can they get that clean shot away? The Storm free, pretty much try and get away to it, but there's a chance at the back post and it doesn't sit right. They can't get that clean shot away. And the Storm will clear. And as you can hear, the home crowd trying to do their bits to encourage their team on through this penalty kill. 57 seconds to go. Option at the blue line is Dowd. They'll find him. He'll go to his right. The shot will come down. Ginn gets down low to save, and then also jumps on the bobbling puck as well. So again, another opportunity for the Steelers, but again, Ginn's there to make that save. And with that, plenty of room out on the ice, particularly in that offensive zone. The Steelers rightly happy just to take their time and wait for those right shooting lanes to come available. It's Connolly there with the slap shot this time, or the one-timer, but it's into Ginn who gets down to make the save. But the Steelers again with that face-off dot win. O'Connor back down to his right, and the Storm will get 2 sticks across to deflect that up and over, and we'll have yet another face-off. 32 minutes, 32 seconds. I'm sure the Steelers will love 32 minutes of power play time, but 32 seconds still showing on the penalty clock. As this time it's the Storm who win the face-off, but of course the Steelers with extra bodies can apply that immediate pressure. If they can get it out, there's a chance to get some shots away, as O'Connor will look to throw it in. That's taking a deflection on the way through, and we will have a face-off. As the Steelers doing all the right things on a two-man advantage, just no goal to go with it. But 5:30 remaining in the second period. The Storm holding a 5-2 advantage, but the Steelers, of course, with this great opportunity now to cut that deficit once again. O'Connor thinks about the shot, elects against it. He'll go back to Dowd. Dowd will go back to Dowd. O'Connor will shoot. It comes through, but it's taking a deflection there from the Storm man, who gets down and gets in front to make that block. A really good play by Simmons, it looks like, as he's replaced by Thompson, or not. He's sent back out, but gets down to make that block and stop that shot coming in. So the Storm player ready to return to the ice. But the Steelers still having another opportunity to get away, as the Storm get one back. Chance to get the shot away here. The shooting lane has opened up. Seemed to beat everyone, but it beat the post. And it looks like it's trapped in that net as well, where McGinn managed to get behind it and make that cover, which looks like he does as he's got the puck. But the Storm managed to kill that two-man advantage for the Steelers, and now just battling with the one man down. .4:58 remain, 24 seconds on the penalty clock now. Can the Steelers get that goal? Face-off won this time by the Storm, but the extra man means the Steelers can apply a pressure. But the Storm will look to clear as it's blocked down in that right corner, but the initial danger is out the zone as Connolly looks to drag it back in. And he's dispossessed, which allows the puck to be thrown on that Steelers netminder. And as they have 2 seconds left, the Steelers unable to make that 5-on-3 advantage count. And it's a good penalty kill from the Storm. Everyone on the ice playing their part, and now they could get a chance away on goal, but it's deflected high and up. There's 2 Storm players behind the net, but it's the Steelers stick that bobbles it up. And that means for the meantime, any danger will be cleared down. But no icing call there, bit of good footwork. Knocks that puck into their zone. But Jonathan Phillips will carry it. He'll look behind to Kuka, who kind of left it, hoping a man was there. But what's happened here is that it's fallen into the path of a Storm player, as they look to quickly set up the attack. Critchlow under pressure from a couple of Storm, or Steelers players I should say. Hope tries to help out, but to no avail, as the Steelers defenseman carries the puck out, looks to that right. There's a passing option, seemingly always a passing option open for the Steelers whenever they have the puck. And that's allowed them to get into the zone and look to set up down in that right-hand side as they aim to keep the pressure on. And we will have a call, and it looks like it will be against the Steelers. Hooking the call. So a few moments ago, the Steelers had a 5-on-3, a real good opportunity and a real good chance to get a goal back, but now they go to the penalty kill. And the Storm's power plays have progressively got better as the game has gone on. They're starting to register a few shots, but as of yet, no goals on the man advantage. However, with 3:22, they have another. Hooking the call on the Steelers man. They chuck that puck across, aiming for a target, but it's too high and wild. But here's Orlin. Orlin goes behind the net. Pascaric goes back. That's good work back to Piskaric. There's an option down low. Not the option he wanted, but it's too all in. If they're quick, it could deflect into the path of a player. Not so. They still have possession though. Here's all in. He'll be patient with it behind, as O'Connor loses his stick briefly. Chance for the shot to come in. A quick shot there by Fawcett, it looks like, on that left side of the blue line for the Storm. But Cantor gets down to make a relatively comfortable save. But the majority of this power play for the Storm, this 124 remaining, has been played in the offensive zone, which is exactly what they would have wanted. And they've won another face-off here, which gives Critchlow the chance to think about what to do. All-in goes behind the net. There's opportunities for a pass that go back to the red line. They'll look probably to go behind the net here, which they do. There's Ulmer. He'll go back to the person who originally gave him the puck, and it's deflected up behind, and Fawcett does well to keep it in. And the attempted pass to Critchlow deflected on the way through. And that puck is trapped in the centre. And the Steelers should be able to clear here, and they will get an offside call as that puck does go outside the zone before coming back in. But a bit better from the home side on the man advantage this time with 45 seconds remaining. But the Steelers yet to give up that goal when they are a man down. As Eberle heads to the face-off dot for them now. Although it is the Storm who again, quite good on the face-off dot generally anyway, but particularly when they have this man advantage tonight, it's been a positive. As Ginn plays the puck under pressure from Eberle, there's a loose pass there. The Storm players a bit bemused why a call didn't come. One of the players seemed to lose their sticks, but the official's not in agreement. And Phillips gets that puck all the way down, but it's shot over the ice. Or shot over the glass, I should say. And of course what that means is there's a little less room in that penalty box. They shoot that puck straight over, they get a penalty. The Steelers have one too many on. The experienced Phillips at the face-off dot. He's got O'Connor there, and I'm sure that if he wins this, O'Connor's going to fire that puck all the way down the ice. They don't initially win it, but they're doing well to try and play down that clock by trapping it in that corner. Here's Piskaric, looks to try and find Fawcett coming in the centre, but Jonathan Phillips alert to the danger. It's the Phillips-O'Connor trio, but that 5-on-3 very brief. As the Steelers get one skater back. It's Meelan back out for them, and he'll remain out there for the moment. And we'll have another 1 minute 27 seconds of power play action. Shot will come in, and Ulmer providing the screen in front of the netminder, but the shot's too wide, so it doesn't have too much of an effect this time. Shot will come in, it's high. There's a chance for a follow-up here, but it doesn't sit right. Fawcett does well enough to get a shot away there, but of course with it not sitting right, that's far too high. And Ginn again will act almost as that sixth-sater for the Storm on the power play. And they'll come forward. Good one too, there's a chance to find that pass in the middle. As we will of course have a whistle as Hughesman coming in to try and tap that puck in, knocks the net off its moorings, but it's got to be said that with 25 seconds remaining in the second period, the Storm's power play has been a lot better in this period, so you imagine Ryan Finnerty will be happy with that aspect of the game. Of course he'll be happy with the scoreline as well. I'm sure Aaron Fox will look at the positives of the fact that his side are yet to concede a man down. As the official's not too happy with that face-off, so we'll have it again. And the Storm again win it. They'll finish this period on the power play, of course, unless they score. But at the moment, doesn't look likely as the Steelers look to come forward and hope their losers his skates. That's fantastic footwork to knock that puck into the zone. But unfortunately for the Steelers, no one can kind of carry on Konsinski's footwork, and as you can tell, that is the end of the second period. 40 minutes played here at the Storm shelter. That period, not as many goals, but that doesn't mean there was any less goalmouth action. Both netminders called into action, both netminders making big saves as well. The Steelers had a real good opportunity. I keep saying that phrase, real good opportunity, but you feel that it is with that 5-on-3, which they couldn't capitalise on. Then the Storm had a 5-on-3 of their own, although it was a brief one, and their power play has been better. But the main story, of course, is the fact that the Storm hold a 5-2 lead at the second period break. What will Aaron Fox be saying to his Steelers players in the changing room during this break? Try and formulate a plan to work a way back into this game. But for the meantime, again, that gives you a chance just to put your feet up, recover from what has been a highly entertaining game so far, grab a drink as well, and we'll be back with you in around 15 minutes or so as we wait for and preview and of course enjoy the third period of action. But at the end of the second, it's cost the Manchester Storm 5, the Sheffield Steelers 2.
Get your shirt off the back, tickets a pound and
We have music if better than the Rolling words in the laptop. I will sing, but nobody needs to hear that.
Well, welcome back to the Storm shelter as the Sheffield Steelers team make their way out onto the ice, as do the Manchester Storm, the side who hold that 5-2 advantage with 20 minutes left to play in this contest. Cody Thompson, the only goal of that, of that second period. Real good burst of pace to get in between those two Steelers defensemen and then find the top right corner over the right shoulder of Cantor in the Steelers net. And as was the case at the start of the second period, there is some carryover time on a penalty. So the Steelers will have 23 seconds with the man down as they aim to maintain their perfect penalty kill up to this point. As the Storm 5 have a few discussions about what they're going to do if they do win this face-off draw. And the referee drops the puck and the third period is underway as Gagnon happy to go behind his own net to start that new attack. We'll have to be quick though with 12 seconds remaining on the man advantage. He goes back to Gagnon where this move all started. As the Steelers welcome their man back out onto the ice. So a good penalty kill for them so far, and that's another one to add to the tally as Negrin, his attempted pass there seems like the puck got trapped on that ice. Of course, fresh sheet of ice, may have been a bit of standing water down in that corner. Not too much of a problem though for the Storm as they managed to get it down the other end of the ice, but the Steelers will look to try and get their first attack of the period. And it's down in that corner with DeLuca, and he looked to chuck it across towards goal. It's come that way, and there's a chance to get the shot back, but that's a fantastic stick from Hope, it looked like there, for the Manchester Storm to just knock that puck off the Steelers' stick. The attempted dump took a little nick on the way through there actually. Wasn't very clear, but you definitely heard something. So that could have proved to be a bit more problematic for Matt Ginn than it actually looked like. But he still made the stop, and the attempted clearance to the edge of the zone works as it bobbles over Shudra's stick. But here come the Steelers again. Look to chuck it towards goal. And Davies had initially made that move, but he elected to go behind the net. But here come the Storm. Chance to get a shot away. Shot will come in. But the pads are in the right place for Cantor. And he makes the save. But that's happened a couple of times tonight at both ends. Such is the nature of the game where they've been able to get a quick attack, and that attempted pass all the way back to Phillips, I think it was, doesn't hit its target. And that means the Storm will have possession as they come through Orlin. He'll look down to his right. I hope that Paskaric can give chase. He can, but the puck is back with the Steelers, and now it's bounced right, and there's a 2-on-1, a real good opportunity now for them to get that shot away. He waits, and Ginn saves. Valorant happy to play the patient game there, and that will be a penalty, and that will draw a reaction. Valorant potentially frustrated with that missed one-on-one opportunity. Although he's pleading his innocence to the officials. They're not interested though, they're going to call the penalty, and Ginn straight away making that gesture, or reacting to the incident there, as Paskaric has just left the ice for the Storm, so we'll monitor that one and keep you updated on the Storm winger. But yet again, and obviously not for the first time this evening, the Storm have a power play. Can they make this one count? Well, they've won the face-off. Early shot will come in. Doesn't get a deflection on the way through. Critchlow, though, it's a powerful shot, and it's saved, and it's with Ginn now. And the Storm will have to set up and go again, run their lines from behind their own net. It's Critchlow playing that quarterback role. It goes to Orlin. Orlin will look for the backhand. It beats the netminder, but it beats the post as well. And there'll be a little battle down in that corner as the shot again from Orlin. Right-handed wrist shot. Vital that defensive stick was there as it deflects it up and over for the face-off. But a real threat now, the Storm, they look, with the man advantage. And that really wasn't the case in the first period. But a really important stick there from Phillips. Deflects that puck up and over and out of danger. But the Storm will throw it in towards the net again. And it's wide. Now the Steelers certainly will clear the zone. One better there will get a chance to shoot here. The shot will come up. Ginn will make the save. Jonathan Phillips just slamming his stick down trying to trap that puck, but it bobbles up, and now Orlin will come forward down the other end. He'll chuck it in front of the net, looking for that offensive partner. And the Steelers managed to knock it all the way down to a real action-packed power play so far, not just for the Storm. The Steelers having that opportunity there. If it was more central, he would have been able to get a better shot away. But here come the Storm. And it's Hughesman there looking to carry it in, or Thompson I should say, but he gets called for offside. But a defensive clear there could have turned into a goal for the Steelers. Ginn alert to the danger as he has been all evening, and getting that blocker to knock that puck away, and Phillips on the follow-up looking to trap it. Doesn't sit right though, despite his best efforts. And there's 34 seconds remaining, or showing on the clock, in terms of this penalty. And the Steelers winning that face-off means that they'll get the opportunity to shoot that puck all the way down to the other end of the ice. And it's trapped in the glove of Ginn to drop down to Negrin, the Storm defenseman. Options to his right, which he'll take. As Gagnon there dumps it behind. And again, looking for that quick play, but Gagnon had cut inside, which meant that puck just shoots all the way down. And 2 seconds remaining, which means yet again it's another good penalty kill from the Sheffield Steelers. And the Storm will just be forced to dump that puck all the way down. I think they thought there was a player on for the pass there, but they're actually making the line change. And the pass forward dumped into the zone as two Steelers players come and provide the pressure, but situations like that, if they can get past, they find a way through, and that's a good hit down in that corner to end that offensive play. The Steelers are a physical side as well, got some big players unafraid to use their body, and now they can set up an attack of their own as the intended pass going into the oncoming Dowd went under him and all the way down, which meant that Cantor had to come out and play it. As the Storm happy just to wait for the Steelers to come to them while they make the line change. And it's now Dowd dumping it behind for Connolly. Connolly will dump it in front there, and that is inches away from Dowd knocking that puck in to cut the deficit to 2 once again. But good work with the puck from the Steelers, just not having that final touch that they would have wanted there, because that seemed like it would have almost certainly gone into the goal given the position of Ginn. And there's another chance here. Ginn this time gets his right pad to it, and we will have a penalty. And while Ulmer was the player closest to Connolly there who hit the deck, it is Sullivan who's going to sit. 2 minutes for hooking, the call signalled by the official. So they've been on the penalty kill a lot this period, but with 13:59 remaining in the game, 3 goals needed, 4 to win the game. The Steelers now have a good opportunity, already struck on the power play in the first period. That's how they got their second goal of the evening. And now they've got another chance on the man advantage. as Davies knocks it back and Davies receives the puck again. Again, little 1-2 between them as the puck is a high shot. Ginn gets up, kind of chests it, bobbles in the air, but he gets his glove under it. So the face-off to the left of the Storm goal. There's the Storm who will win that initial face-off, and three Steelers applying the pressure to try and instantly win that puck back, and they did briefly, although it bobbled up, and you imagine that Negrin here, well, he looked like he would have cleared it, but he's happy to carry that puck forward actually and look to start another attack as he'll go for a little skate around behind. Obviously half a mind on playing down that penalty clock as well. But the Steelers, that another long pass to the blue line, gets them in the zone again as Connolly drops it back. He might go himself here as there's no pass on, but instead he'll try that backhand pass, and instead it creates half a 2-on-1. The speed of Fawcett once again on show. But also on show was the glove of Cantor, and Connolly seemed happy just to hold this puck and wait for the right pass, but he makes the backhanded pass. It goes straight to the stick of Fawcett, who's already got one this evening, of course. Similar goal as well, using his speed to get forward, but Cantor doing very well to make the save and deny him. So the Steelers will set up their latest attack from behind their own net as O'Connor carries it. There's an option on the right which he'll find, but it's intercepted by Orlin, and now there's an opportunity with no real lane to skate forward to. He likes to kind of dump or drop back, I should say, and the puck ends up back with the Steelers, and the shot will come in. And we talk about pace from Fawcett for the Storm. Well, Dowd demonstrating it there as well, really getting forward quickly and getting that shot away. But a nervy few moments there for the Sheffield Steelers. A couple of loose passes finding the stick of Storm players, but the Storm unable to make them punish, or unable to punish them, I should say, and make them pay for their mistakes. And the pass again comes forward, and the Storm not only on the kill, they'll also have another opportunity on the attack as there's a chance to deflect that puck in. Cantor completely beaten, frozen on the spot, and the attempted deflection towards goal hits the post, but they can come forward again. There's a good chance to get a shot away, but it doesn't happen. But the Storm, as they kill their penalty, and as soon as they kill that penalty, they're straight on the power play again as Ginn expresses his displeasure at that tripping call. But if you weren't sure who that penalty had been called on, and you weren't really counting the players, and you said whose was that power play then, you'd probably say the Storm in terms of the chances that they had. The Steelers will want this to be a lot better as we hit 11:56, so the Storm back to full strength for all of 3 seconds before the tripping call grants them another opportunity on the man advantage, and the Storm, I'm sure, will want a repeat of their last showing, as the Storm are the ones that win the face-off. And Gagnon's attempted clearance is blocked on the blue line. The attempted pass to Connolly ends up with the stick of Davies. Davies gets it back as Eberle goes towards the centre, and Eberle's an option here, but instead they go to the back post. It looks like Valor on there coming in, and it's him with the puck again now. He'll throw that fierce wrist shot towards goal, and despite the 2 sticks there of Connolly and Eberle, I think it was, in front of the net, looking to get those deflections on, Ginn follows that puck all the way into his body. But the Steelers, this is what they will want on the man advantage, posing that threat yet again. With 1:35, so still a lot of power play time to try and find a goal to cut that deficit to 2. Here's Davies, he'll throw that puck towards net. Now Connolly behind the net. He goes to Davies. Shot will come in. Takes a deflection, but Eberle deflects it wide. So Davies, he'll go back. They'll elect to go to their right. Go behind the net. There are passes on. They'll look to go to the back post. Davies will look to try and find that wrist shot. Instead, he goes back across net. And Eberle's attempted hit on goal is deflected away. But the chance for the shot to come in, it's fierce. Davies on the follow-up. Completely off balance. Ends up slicing that one high and over. The danger's still there, though. Back with Davies, who's been a real key part of this power play so far. Shot will come in. Blocked by Ulmer. Again, the shot will come in. This time it's all in who will make the block. And Davies and Valorant really kind of key parts of that power play, but neither can make one of their few shots there count, and the Storm will clear all the way down the ice, which gives both teams the chance to change and grab a breather, as we hit 20 seconds remaining on the power play. Again, the Storm have some defending to do. There's a battle down in that corner, but it's the Steelers who come out on top. The attempted pass just bobbles up off Dowd's stick, and Fawcett will try and beat him for pace here as he tries to get around the outside, but it's too quick that he loses his own footing, and the Steelers can come forward again, and pretty much straight away out of the penalty box. There could have been another tripping call there, but no official raises their arm. And the Steelers better that power play compared to the one they had moments before that, but no goal, which they need, of course, 3 of those at the moment, just to get something out of this game. There's a chance here to get one. They elect to be patient. Now the shot will come in. But solid core defensive work there from Negrin, getting his stick down, directing that high and up so it deflects up, over and away from danger. So 9:25 remaining in this game. 3-goal lead for the Manchester Storm. They are 5-2 up against the Sheffield Steelers here. Challenge Cup group stage action. So the Steelers win it on the dot. And again, there's a bit of a battle in front of net. But again, some good tenacity from the Steelers means that they have the puck behind the net as Phillips. Now with Sandstrom. Phillips is there as an option, but he cuts inside. Sandstrom looking to try and beat his man, but the stick is there from Gruel. And the Storm with a little option on there. Hughesman elects just to chuck it in on the netminder for a fairly comfortable save. The Steelers look down their left. Shot will come in, but again there's a man in the way, but the puck bobbles onto the stick of Jonathan Phillips, who again, that bobbling puck did well to get anything on it, but not enough to pose a threat. Here's Phillips. Phillips will go behind the net. And Sandstrom will give chase. He's still got it. Milan's there for pressure, for support. Pass will come in into the zone. There's plenty of bodies in the way. But crucially for the home side, one of those bodies in the way is a Storm player. And the clearance all the way down the ice, with no icing as it hit a Steelers player before ending up behind their own net. But again, they come forward. And again, the shot will come in. But again, it's just wide. And that's good physical play there, which of course you can hear the away fans appreciated that. The Storm still in the zone though, and the chuck on goal again, comfortable for the netminder. Gagnon will get the shot away though. And Cantor, whose start was a bit shaky. However, he has grown into this game as time has gone on. And now looks fairly comfortable in the Steelers' net. So 7:42 remains. Steelers need 3 goals to get something from this game. But time's ticking away. They can't really get those opportunities on goal. And of course, another Storm goal here will make them feel in a real confident position to get the points as a shot will come in for Gagnon. The pad of the Steelers netminder is there to deflect that puck away. And the Steelers come forward again. It's kind of jumping between the two sides there, possession, as neither puck will kind of sit right for them. But the Steelers look down their right. The attempt into the zone. Again, for their second time, they'll try go down the other end. Isn't there yet? It should be this time, and they are in the zone now. Passing options on. They'll look to go behind the net. There's one option coming in, not the intended target, but still a player in white nonetheless. Chance to get a shot away, but again, stick is there to deflect that puck high and over. The Storm defenseman doing his work to prevent that shot getting anywhere near Ginn, but the Steelers had a couple of chances to try and get in that zone there. This time they finally do. A shot directed towards goal, but of course the defensive stick, meaning that it doesn't trouble Ginn, the Storm number 1. And the Steelers win the face-off. Quick shots from the blue line. Not got enough power on it really to be problematic, although the Steelers still in possession. Here's Dowd. Dowd under pressure from Critchlow. There's options there. They'll elect to keep it himself. Chance to turn and shoot here if the shot can get away. Ginn makes the initial save. The puck's bobbling around and then Ginn alert. Seemingly no one knew where that was apart from the Storm netminder, who bats it away. Here's Hope. Tries to find one of his teammates, but the pass is intercepted. And the Steelers now briefly had a 3-on-2, but the Storm will get numbers back. And that pass back to the blue line goes beyond the blue line, and the frustration of then having to clear the zone. But there's a good chance here. If, again, that puck's just not quite sitting right for them at the moment. Dowd finding it tough to bring that bobbling puck under control. Not too much he could have done about it as Gagnon comes forward. The defenseman flies forward for the Storm. And again, the physical presence of that Steelers defence in place. Here come the Steelers. They'll look to chuck it in on goal, and I think Ginn thought that was going more into the blue paint than it did as he looked to get across, but made the stop. And this game really now has an end-to-end feel to it. One side needs goals, which of course opens up the gaps at the other end as well. So it wouldn't surprise me if we saw 1 or 2 more goals in this final 5 minutes 27. Although not quite sure which way we will see them as the Steelers continue to look to apply that pressure. But the Storm, as we've seen, posing that threat, coming forward. And now there's a battle down in that right-hand side. All in initially had the puck for the Storm, but the Steelers have it back. And the pass hits its target. I'm not too sure how much Phillips knew about it, but eventually the puck came under his legs and he was able to bring it forward. So here are the Steelers again. An option through the middle, which they'll find. Chance to get the shot away. That's a good bit of stick work there to use that toe drag to get a shot on goal, but it's too high. And Ginn makes the stop. And there's a passing opportunity on, but that's far too high for Ulmer to really bring down and get a shot away. But the Storm will take this with 4:35, trying to make Cantor freeze the puck. So they'll have a face-off down in their offensive zone, and that's what the home side will want now, that puck to stay down that end of the ice. They look to play down the clock a bit, and then of course try and take a scoring opportunity when it presents itself. It's the Storm who win the face-off, but again, that puck bobbles up and almost sent through the Steelers. 1-on-1, and again we're inches away from a Steelers player tapping that in at the back post. But here comes Connolly, just missed that chance then. He'll find Shudra out on the left. The defenseman's come forward, but under pressure from Negrin, he's been a real presence for the Storm so far this evening in all situations. Gets the all-important touch. It's Thompson happy just to play that puck along the boards. And as we say, trying to play down that clock. The longer the Storm have the puck, the less time the Steelers will have to score with it. But of course the Steelers a very good side, particularly in attack. So they'll look to try and get at least one, but again, a bobbling puck stops the attack. And the Storm will look to clear past Armstrong. Whelan keeps it in, and it's dumped behind for Sandstrom, who's getting more minutes as this game is going on. And we will have a penalty, and it will be against the Sheffield Steelers. So that means with 3:09 remaining in the game. There seemed to be a hit on the whistle there. Whether it came after the whistle, I'm not too sure on first glance. But of course the Steelers will take exception to that. And of course words will be exchanged between the two sides, but let's have a look. Obviously it was hard to tell when the whistle was in that situation, but understandably the Steelers not too happy with it, as looks like Lutvich will also be going to the penalty box. So I think any potential penalty or power play that the Storm could have had is unlikely to materialise now. So we're probably going to have 2 minutes apiece, you imagine. So officials in discussion now, they're just deciding what to do. But here's that incident again. And of course the Steelers player is going to take exception to that. We'll wait to see what the calls will be and what the officials are going to do. But what we do know is that both players have got a man in the penalty box. So there will be a penalty apiece. But Steelers' penalty door is still open, so maybe they're expecting another person in, and they are, and it's Ben O'Connor who will sit. So I think we're probably going to be 5-on-4 here, 2 coincidentals, and then of course the initial offence as well that would have given the Storm their power play. So the Storm will go on the power play. The officials look like they're giving similar penalties to both players. So the Steelers need 3 with 3:07 left, and they've got to play 2 minutes of that, a man down. So a very tough task has just got even tougher. The Storm cycling the puck. A combination of waiting for those shooting lanes, but also being aware of the time in the game as well. And that pass from Critchlow, not for the first time this evening, was a little loose, and it nearly fell into the path of Phillips, who again, as we know, he'll keep playing to the very last second, whatever the scoreline, and he's really putting in that defensive work down there, and it's resulted in the Steelers getting the puck back, and they're happy to kind of start all the way from their zone. And Phillips is completely unmarked here out on the right if they can find him. Just not quick enough though, and it's intercepted, and now there's a chance for the Storm to get goal number 6, but it's caught up in the body of Armstrong, it looked like, who had slid down there. And as we enter the final 2 minutes of the game, it was Eberle there trying to get a goal back, and he's still got a really good chance to here as he flicks that puck up, as Ginn furious with the defensive players, and Armstrong's got a pass on if he can find it, but there is Thompson, and there is another penalty, and the Steelers will finish this game on the penalty kill. 32 seconds of 5-on-3 action. But the Storm cannot fully relax, but you can sense the fans will now breathe a big sigh of relief. 3 goals, 2 men down. It's a task that probably even the Sheffield Steelers can't pull off at this point in the game. So we'll have 5-on-3 for 32 seconds, and then, of course, after that, the Steelers will finish this game a man down, unless, of course, they do get those 3 goals, which, as unlikely as it seems, can't be completely ruled out. And the attempted knock down the ice doesn't come off. And the Storm will get goal number 6. If the result wasn't certain before, it certainly is now. The Manchester Storm, through Hughesman, get goal number 6. And the Storm hold a 6-2 lead here in Challenge Cup action at the Storm Shelter over the Sheffield Steelers. And that attempted clearance down the ice, all the Steelers can really do, 2 men down, only falls into the path of a player wearing those dark jerseys. He fires it across to Hughesman. Hughesman makes no mistake. And Cantor is beaten for a 6th time this evening. Is there an opportunity for the Storm to get another with 1:02 remaining in this game? Of course, that first goal came on the 5-on-3, so they will still have that 5-on-4 penalty. There's a chance still for the Steelers to try and get something. Phillips, good pass, great reading of the game there to see where the player's going to be. His attempted pass to Eberle isn't at its target, and it's Phillips here who ends up blocking that puck, didn't really know where it was, and Fawcett going to try and use his pace, but the defensemen are across and he'll wait for some reinforcements, which have now arrived, although the Steelers will now have the puck, and with 15 seconds to go, the Steelers will probably have this attack, but both sides have admitted that that's the game. As Sullivan will just stand behind the net to play out the final seconds. And the Manchester Storm, Friday night hockey here at the Storm Shelter, will secure a 6-2 victory over the Sheffield Steelers. The home side, of course, went 4-0 up in that first period, but the Steelers' offensive power showed. They managed to get 2 back. Then it went to 5-2 in the second. And despite 6 goals in the first period, we only had 1 in the second. We only had 1 in the third as well. That goal at the very end on the 5-on-3 through Hughesman, the one-timer. And 2 sides who kind of came into this game in a bit of contrasting form. Thrown that form book completely out the window. The Storm hit 6 past a Sheffield Steelers side who are on a good run heading into this game. And the Steelers fans here in numbers, of course, despite it being a Friday night, show their appreciation to their players for their efforts tonight. As we'll be with you during the man of match announcements as well. Plenty of contenders on both sides, and despite the scoreline, the Steelers probably on another night could have had more than 2 goals. Plenty of attack, plenty of opportunity, but just couldn't quite convert it. And again, not for the first time, Matt Ginn playing a big part, but of course that Storm defence as well, looking to minimise those chances against them. John Armstrong, the Steelers centre, picks up their visiting Man of the Match award. Not sure you can hear it in the background. I'm sure you can. The Steelers fans singing his name in appreciation. Another good performance from him, but as I said, you could have picked a few of those visiting players tonight who were worthy of the accolade as the Steelers make their way off the ice. So, of course, this is the only game in the Elite League on Friday night. Kyle Hope picks up the award for the Storm. Of course, a very nicely taken backhand goal for goal number 3 of the evening around midway through that first period. And on that note, that's pretty much it for us tonight. Of course, we'll be with you throughout the season here on Print It, Stitch It, Storm TV, providing you coverage of every single Manchester Storm game. Whoever you support, whether you're a Storm fan, whether you're a Steelers fan. I know we had a few Belfast fans tuning in tonight as well, watching as a neutral. Thanks for joining us. We hope you'll join us soon. But in the meantime, plenty of hockey still to be played this weekend. So enjoy your weekend, and we will be back with you soon.